being 2-0 down at the break. I'm here with Costa, also known as Himothy from Twitter, who's doing his first YouTube live stream. Big up to him. Crazy topsy-turvy game today. At half-time, you couldn't see anything but a Man City absolute rout. Romero going off as well at the break. But Tottenham somehow clawed it back, didn't they? Spirited second-half performance. A potential Puskas winner as well today we got to witness with Dominic Solanke. What a game. I mean, the first half, we'll go through the game. First half, we were just abject, weren't we? It was very
terrible.
Similar to the games we've seen against Arsenal and Chelsea and some other games we've seen this season where Tottenham were just pensive. They were reactionary, passive, and when we went 2-0 down, it was deserved, wasn't it? We started off kind of as with that early goal conceded. Cherky would have finished. Dragoshin not getting close to him, and the second goal was all way too easy. And it was just so easy for City, wasn't it, in that first half?
Yeah. I mean, if you look at the first half, it was just, again, it's just literally like you said in every other game, it's the same thing. Even if it's not Chelsea or Arsenal, or even against smaller teams, it's kind of the same type of performance. I mean, we said straight away when we saw the lineup, and then when we saw the team actually come out, we saw Dragusin on the left. We thought, is this the right thing to do? Could have Gray played there or Polina? But again, we don't have many options, so we have to say that as well. Or could have Byfield even started there? I don't know. But again, both goals, one came from Basuma, but it was Dragusin who was kind of poor there.
He gave the ball away, didn't he, Basuma?
Yeah, and then I feel like it deflected on top of Dragusin's foot. So what I feel like he needed to do was just lift his foot up. That's it. And then the second goal was his passing, but it was with his weak foot. So I don't know, but he shouldn't be in that position. He looked uncomfortable the whole game, and then both their goals is really our errors.
Yeah, and it was just poor defending from us. And Man City, especially the second goal, just they can do that to you. 2 quick passes, bam, they're in on your goal. Quick, direct, incisive, and obviously they got that 2-0 lead. I think the hardest thing about our first half was just how passive we were. We weren't getting our forward players involved. When we were looking to counter, we weren't being direct and just going for it. We were being hesitant. We had moments where, we could get shots off in half chances and we just weren't taking them, and we weren't throwing caution to the wind at all. We were being so kind of risk averse, and our passing was slow, sideways and backwards. That got going. Gary Neville's describing it as a charity match in that first half, and there was only one winner in that first half, it seemed, didn't it? City. We even said it though in that first half.
They didn't go out of second gear.
You said we get a goal back. We're back in this because City, as you said, they didn't get out of first gear in that first half. It was just so easy for them. We made it really easy for them in that first half. It wasn't like they were overly impressive. Just we were sitting off them. We were allowing them to pop it around. We were allowing them to play their game, and that definitely all changed in the second half. Although Romero goes off, change in formation.
Yeah.
I think that definitely helped in that second half. We changed formation. We actually ended up with a back four of Gray, Paulinho, Dragoshin, and Udogie.
Yeah.
And somehow improved. And we somehow got better. And credit to the team, Second half was night and day, wasn't it?
I feel like, especially in the first half, like you were saying, we let them just play completely easily. Obviously, the goals are literally from our errors, but also just the way we played. We had one shot on target, and it was from Xavi's free kick, and that was it. And the rest were just block shots. We let them play, and again, we said just before the second half, I said even if they go 2-0 up, I said at the time when we were 1-0 down, I said even if we go 2-0 up, I feel like we just get one goal back, and then that's it. We got one goal back, and then the second goal, of course, was superb from Solanke. Do you think that could actually win a Puskas award?
I think it'll definitely be in the running. I definitely think that.
It was an unbelievable goal.
It was absolutely fantastic from Dominic Solanke. I think that second half, I think the change of formation helped for a few reasons. I thought with Gray, I think it helped simplify his game because I feel in the first half, I think he felt the pressure to get forward too much.
I still feel like he bombed forward though.
No, he did, but I think maybe when you're a wing back, it's like you have to constantly be doing it. Whereas when you're a fullback, you can just pick your moment when it's right at the right time. Exactly.
Because that felt like he bombed more forward than the first half, even though he was more deeper.
Yeah, exactly. And I think it helped him. I actually think as well, we were not getting outnumbered in the middle like we were in that first half. So Rodri and Bernardo and who else playing in the midfield in the first half. Turkey.
Yeah.
They were just like popping it around, right? And they were just like we like
They had
didn't
way
know
more
where to look.
space.
And Gallagher and Basuma looked completely lost
Because they were running wide, like side to side. So now I guess they were able to be more compact a bit more.
And then as soon as we had Gallagher, Basuma, and Sarr all together, all of a sudden we had much more. We had players just covering a lot more ground. Gallagher was getting so much more involved in the duels. He was getting flying
probably
forward
his
as
best
well.
half of the Spurs shirt.
Yeah, he came alive. We could see what he could do. He was winning the duels and playing it quickly, directly. It started off, he played a nice ball into Moani, who I think Guehi shielded him away. But from that moment, you can see, okay, Gallagher's a bit livelier now.
Also his assist. That was his assist to
And he
Solanke.
got the assist. As you said, I think he won a challenge, burst down the right, ball into the box, and Solanke
as well,
somehow.
It came all from his work as well. His work rate.
Yeah, exactly. So I think the midfield came alive in that second half, and I think the main player for me, who I think was the man of the half, was Xavi.
Yeah.
I thought Xavi was exceptional in that second half. That first half, he, similar to everyone else, he was sloppy, careless with the ball, albeit
Overhitting passes,
albeit you could argue he was the only one looking to score because he had only 3 shots, but you could see it on the pitch. I think it was summed up with that pass right at the end of the half to a doggy, where a doggy's on the run and he just overhits it, and the doggy just gives up on it because he can't even, it's so bad. And the second half was like a new Xavi. It was like he came alive. I think maybe he helped with the fact that he had runners in Basuma, Gallagher, Sarr. He had that support around him, so he could just try a few more things. But they couldn't handle him in that second half. He was breezing past players. He played that ball to Solanke for the first goal in behind. Brilliant pass, which I guess he'll get an assist for. I guess, but with Solanke, it's credited to him. You could argue, should it be his goal? Did he kick Guehi?
I think he just wrapped his foot around. I think he kicked through Guehi, but he just wrapped his foot around to get it.
Just got enough touch on it, and they've given it to Dominic Solanke. Although,
good for him.
If you were a Man City fan, rightfully aggrieved with no foul in that?
I think if I was a City fan, I think I would be upset, because I feel like we've seen them given for a foul before. So I was shocked that it got given. I said straight away, is that a foul?
Yeah.
Because I feel like, especially against Tottenham, I just feel like those type of things happened against us.
True, and we get unlucky with those moments, don't we? So I think Xavi just came alive, and he was winning those duels. Also, it kind of started, there was one moment, wasn't there, where I think it was Nunes was roaring down the right-hand side, and Xavi just comes back, and it's a sliding challenge,
tackle.
And then all of a sudden we're on the front foot again. And, Xavi in a big game today against Man City,
I think
this is
his best half in the Premier League, I think. Because I think that type of display was more similar to what we've seen in the Champions League. I think that's what it was, and I guess that's why it felt like he had a bit more time because of the midfielders behind him. I guess that's kind of difference when we're watching the Champions League. There's a bit less intensity, but I feel like he has more time and space, similar to how he performed in the Bundesliga. And then today, in the first half, he didn't have that, but once he had those runners in terms of Sarr, Basuma, and Gallagher behind him, he had a bit more time.
If I just read some stats from Xavi today, 9 out of 15 ground duels won.
Wow.
4 out of 6 dribbles completed, 4 chances created, two big chances created, and he gets 1 assist as well on the day. And he had 5 shots with 2 being on target. So he was just immense. I think most of that came in the second half, but he was just immense in that second half. He really showed what he can do, especially when Cherky was running the show in that first half. And you're like, okay, Xavi, we need to see more from you. And bam, did he step up? And do you think today in that game, in a big game, he really showed the Tottenham fans what a good player he is?
I think he showed us that. I think he showed us to play what we expect and what we want, but we just need to see more often. That's it, because that's the first time we've seen him be able to perform like that in the Premier League, I feel like. Unless I'm missing any games, but I just don't feel like we've seen that player which we've seen in the Champions League with how he's played. I think today was the first time, especially in a big game against City. I think we've finally seen it. I just hope he carries on with this, especially with the run of fixtures we have now with Man United, Newcastle and Arsenal, and then after it's Palace and then Fulham and then Liverpool, I think, all in a row. We need him. We really need him in this run.
100%. We need him to step up with all these injuries, especially. Another player we'll talk about as well who really stepped up in that second half, Dominic Solanke, back in the team. After a long layout, that's now what, because the first goal got given to him. That's 4 goals in 5 games, is it for him?
Since coming back.
I mean, you can't ask for too much more than that. I mean, considering he was out for 6 months, what an impact he's made, and also the amount of times, Kuzanov just struggled with him with that physicality. I still think this is not a Solanke operating yet 100% even.
Yeah, it's not.
And I think you can see what a difference he makes to our attack when we play to his strengths. I think the first half we weren't quite doing it.
No.
But...
you said it as well, to start going more direct to him as well in the first half, and then we started doing it more in the second half, and there you go.
And it made all the difference. But talk about the goal. We'll talk about, Gallagher puts it in, and I don't know how he contorts his body in the way that he did to somehow turn a cross that was way behind him into a shot on target, a scorpion kick, reminiscent of Olivier Giroud.
It's a Ibrahimovic type goal.
Zlatan kind of goal. You'll see it replayed time after time. An absolutely filthy finish from Dominic Solanke. But somehow he kind of got his boot high enough from behind to flick it over. Donnarumma, by the way.
Yeah, he's like 6'5".
Even though he got a touch at it, it was just too good for him.
Yeah.
And I think you saw Solanke when he turned around.
He was shocked.
He couldn't believe it himself.
I think
Phenomenal.
even the first goal was brilliant from him as well. I think the way he showed it off Kusanov as well, and then the touch to cut back out and then shoot. Obviously, the finish is a bit scrappy in that, but in terms of that build-up played for that, the way he handled it and showed off Kusanov, I thought that was really good.
As well to stay on the side. He's just been a breath of fresh air since coming back into the Tottenham side, and he's been really important since coming back into the team. Offers something that we just missed, that physicality. And I think Kuzanov, whenever he was up against him, 9 times out of 10, Solanke was the one coming away with it. If I look at some of his stats from today, 4 out of 10 ground duels, but obviously you got those 2 goals on the day today. 1 key pass. Didn't actually pass the ball too many times, but when he was involved, he was an absolute nuisance for Man City.
Can we have a look at Gallagher's stats?
Because I
thought in the second half he was generally thought he was the best half for Spurs.
Yeah, 4 out of 9 ground duels, only won 1 tackle, 1 key pass on the day, 2 out of 3 crosses completed, 3 interceptions as well, 5 defensive contributions. So he definitely at second half he was really, really involved in the game, and I think he came alive, and he was. I think in the first half again he was very similar to the other games we've seen from. Just like didn't really notice him. Yeah, but you noticed him that second half for sure, and he was so much better.
Gray as well. Gray second half was really good.
Yeah,
especially recently times. I think this is one of his best halves in a very long time.
Yeah, I think he looked a lot better right back for sure. Yeah. So there was definitely it was so much better in the second half, and City, albeit late in the game, they had a couple of moments in there. They came back into it. Haaland had a moment, which he should have scored. Reinders had a couple of chances, which he was unlucky with. So, overall, draw a fair result. Should we have won it? Did we deserve 3? Was City still the better side on the balance?
I think draw is a fair result. I think in the first half we weren't great at all, but I think if they were more just were attacking more, I think they would have blown away. But it's the fact that they were in second gear that the first half, and then the second half, again they didn't really do much either. Of course, they didn't even score. So I think, but then in the second half we were on top. So I do think, especially with the statistic, the commentator said that this is the most dominant we've been since Burnley. So I think a draw is a fair result. Yeah,
especially considering all the injury problems we got. You got to be happy with a point. And I mean, I say you got to be happy with a point. Was this the worst outcome before today? Because we've obviously given Arsenal a 6-point lead now with taking points off Man City.
And 9 points?
We're 9 points away now from the relegation zone, so obviously eases our relegation worries, and maybe it gives a bit of hope as well.
To go into the next game, I think.
Yeah, just going forward, maybe we can pull out some performances. But what is it about this team? We have to wait till we're 2-0 down, till we give it a go and actually go after teams.
Fine margins, isn't it? Just like Frank would say, fine margins. No, seriously, the thing is, I feel like it's been like this for a very long time. Like, I don't think it's just under Frank. I think it's been under Ange, even Conte. I just think it's such a mentality issue within the club. Not just the players, but also just the entire hierarchy of the team. I just feel like they can't put the pressure onto the players. Like, it's like something what Conte would say. I just feel like the players can't handle the pressure.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's such a difficult one.
It's really strange, isn't it? Every time it seems, especially recently, the second half we seem to come back into it, but the first half we're just all over the place and we're so passive and it's hard to watch. And those loud boos at half time, you know, with large frustration. It seemed like Frank was on the ropes, but yet again,
same thing.
Second half, he's kind of saved himself with a much better performance, and we've got back in the game. We actually got something out of this game, and considering all the injuries we got, we've lost as well Danzo and Spence, and before the game. During the game, apparently Romero was ill, and apparently he was ill before the game and battled through it. He was actually having a great game, I thought, to be honest. Maybe it's because he was ill. But
yeah, he didn't look good.
They're saying what they're showing here was they're saying it could have been offside, maybe.
No, I thought he was on.
Oh no, they're showing how he made the run. Right.
Yeah, it's a brilliant run as well.
Yeah, it's a brilliant run.
Also, from Odegaard was really good when he came on.
Odegaard and Tell were threatening when they came on as well. Yeah, I agree with that.
What do you think of Sarr?
Sarr was also good. I liked Sarr when he came on. I thought he added energy to the team. So thankfully, even with the injuries, I thought we had enough kind of depth just to give enough fresh bodies a chance.
I thought Bassoon was quite a ghost today though. Compared to the last two games, I didn't see him much at all, even in tackles and on the ball.
He was bad today.
Yeah,
he was bad today.
Last two Bremen games, he's been the best player. Today, that's back to the player like what people complaining about.
Seemed a bit disinterested, didn't he?
Yeah,
it just seemed a bit like. Didn't a bit careless. Didn't really, gave the ball away for the first goal
as well. Yeah,
and he nearly gave the ball away again for another chance in the first half. Rightfully hooked, I felt. In the second half.
And he looked upset at that as well. He just looked like not in the mood.
But I think he deservedly came off. I thought Sarr came on, did a lot better.
Yeah.
So that was really positive. But where does it leave Frank for you in terms of, going into? Well, there's been a lot of chat about Frank. Does he deserve to be here or not? It's another game where we've had a horrible first half and we've come back this time when earning a point. We're now 9 points away from relegation. We gained a point away from West Ham. When you watch today, do you see more about how we played in the first half, or are you more focused on how good we were in the second half and came back?
I think my standpoint is, I think it's okay to have these games. These games as if a one-off, or like maybe sometimes you have to claw it back like this, or the same with the Burnley game where you have to go like Romero just choosing to go up, and then he's done it a couple of times even against Newcastle. But in terms of this happening every single game, this is a problem, and that for me I do not want Frank here. And I think that should be the common theme for everyone. I don't think anyone should want him here, unless your point is there's no one better to get right now. Do we trust the interim to come in? Should we just give Frank the end of the season and see whatever happens there? If that's your stand, but I understand that as well. So I guess it's really your choice if you would rather trust Frank just for these last 6 months and see what happens, or try to get an interim. You know what I mean?
Yeah, it's an interesting one, isn't it? How we kind of judge what we're seeing. Like in the second half, when we see us go more attacking and go after teams and press them a lot more aggressively, is that evidence that these players, can do it when you play that way? Or is it evidence of Frank is trying to get them to play that way, but they're just not doing it until we're losing? Like, how do we... What conclusions do we take away from the fact that we're always waiting till we're 2-0 down to give it a real good go and go after teams? Like, is that them finally following what Frank wants to do? Or is that them abandoning what Frank wants to do and just going, you know what, nothing to lose here?
Well, the way I look at it, right, is when you go into a match, the game plan should already be there from training. So by just like, in terms of just using common sense of what we think, they're training, right? They've had plans, they've trained on what they want to do tactics-wise, where they want to be in certain positions. So the way they come into the game, that should be on Frank. The first half or the first 30 minutes, that should all be on Frank. And that's where we are the weakest. In terms of the second half, that's adapting. That's just thinking what we should do. And in terms of like I was saying, we're 2-0 down. The goal, us scoring one goal, is that on Frank, or is that just momentum? In terms of scoring that one goal and then the fans getting behind everyone and then going for that second? Because that's the way I see it every game recently. I just feel like we get one back and we have the momentum to push forward, and because of the fans and because of the players is the reason why.
And it seems to be a lot of the time as well, we either need a set piece or something like ridiculously special to get back. Like today was a scorpion kick, but other times it's been either like a Paulinia overhead kick or it's been Romero taking it upon himself. So is it... Look, you just got to mention that. Is it really? Is it a tactical plan from Frank to do that kind of stuff, or is it? Or do you have to give him credit though, because the way that we did come back into it. It wasn't just the goals. It was, we did create chances, didn't we? And there was definitely a different kind of Tottenham in that second half. We were more aggressive.
So what do you think that's on, though? Like, do you think that's on Frank?
It's hard to say. I mean, it's hard to say no. Like, you can't just say the bad is him and the good is not him. So I think he did actively change formation.
But do you think...
And so that led to things that were improved for us. So we were closer to the opposition, and we were winning more balls we were winning more duels in the middle, and that led to more pressure on Man City, and obviously that led to us being closer to their goal and creating more chances. So I do think that's him, and we were definitely more risk taking. We were leaving Haaland 1-on-1 in that the second half, up against Dragoshin, and we seemed to handle it somehow.
But do you think, though, you're talking about like that's on Frank, but do you think that's just resulting on Romero being ill? Do you think he would have made that change if Romero was fine?
Yeah, maybe not.
So then it's just like, you can't, like, I get what you mean, but are you going to really say that's on Frank just because he was forced to do that? Do you get what I mean?
I know what you mean. It's hard to say. Obviously, he went in with a tactical plan with this back three, had a lot of square pegs and round holes, and it didn't work.
So then how can we say it's on Frank if the only reason we then came out in the second half and had a thing is because we had to adapt and change? For me, that just looks like it's more on the players, because every single week we come out in the first 45 minutes and do the same, it's just terrible every time. So and they have training. It's not like we're randomly pulled up to the day like, oh, okay, we're playing Man City now. They had days to train and they do tactics. So for me, for them coming out weak, that is on Frank. And then the second half is just about being in the stadium and the players. That's the way I look at it. I'm not saying nothing is entirely on Frank, but if I was a player, I'm not inspired by Frank at all.
Yeah, well, he must have inspired him in the half time to do something, unless it wasn't him. But he, credit in terms of mustering out a performance when everything was against us at half time. You have to say fair play. He found a way to get us back in the game and get a result. You've got to give him credit. I think the formation change definitely did help. But it's just a constant pattern, isn't it? This the way games are being played out at the moment, just coming out pensive, slow, passive, and then just when all is lost, we just give it a go. And sometimes we fall short and nearly get back into it. And this time today, we did end up getting a result, and we got the draw. But even in that second half, City did have chances, didn't they? We could have conceded, and we got a bit lucky there in terms of like the XG and the stats overall. So we had 0.97, they had 1.99. So from that point of view, City created better chances. 2 big chances to us, 3 for City. Shots overall, 12 for us, 15 for City. We made. Vicario only made 1 save though.
Great save. He did make another save.
Donnarumma had to make 4. Yeah, he didn't. I guess it maybe didn't count in the stats.
Vicario had a good game today in terms of shots.
But yeah, Donnarumma had to make a few more saves, didn't he? He made 1 from Javi. He made 1 from Odebear. So he had to make some really good saves, didn't he, Donnarumma? So the stats was obviously they had 61% possession, we had 39. So the stats suggest City were overall probably the better team, and we we got back into the second half, and
I think it's 2 halves. I think a game of 2. I think it was definitely a game
of 2 halves. The first half 0.17 XG for us, 0.89 for them. Second, we had 0.81 and they had 1.1.
I'm surprised they have that much.
Well, Reinders had a couple of
and
chances,
then that one shot where Sarr put his leg out.
Where
Sarr put his leg out because that was very close.
Yeah.
Because if Sarr didn't stick his leg out, it was a goal.
Where he had a decent chance late in the game as well. It's saying a couple of chances, actually. 3 chances, I think, where he had. Maybe that count as all his shots at that set piece, maybe. Yeah. Look, for me, there's 2 ways of looking at it, I guess. You could say, is this following on what Frank's been saying in recent weeks, improved performances, more attacking football like we saw against Burnley, against Dortmund, against Frankfurt, even Bournemouth, you could argue, there's more attacking football there, and there's been improvements, and there's been more good than bad. Or you look at the other way, saying the football for lots of the season has been horrible, even in those games against Bournemouth and Burnley and Dortmund and Frankfurt, there's large caveats you can give. And today we were 2-0 down and could have been out of sight, and we somehow forced our way back in the game, but it wasn't like, why do we have to wait till all things are lost till we go back in it? So It's hard. It depends what kind of narrative you follow. All that being said, he definitely doesn't get sacked after this game.
No.
I don't think. I think he's definitely safe. Even if we would have lost, he's probably safe. I would say that it was looking maybe scary for him at halftime, 2-0 down, and with everything going against us. And if we would have fallen 4-5, maybe they would have panicked. But I think we came back, got a credible draw, and deservedly so. So fair play to the team for dragging themselves to a result. And it was a very good second half performance. We were like a new team in that second half, and there were definitely lots of positives. Solanke, Gallagher, Xavi for the main three for me that you can take from that game, saying, okay, they showed a much better level performance. And considering all the problems we got going into this game, you would definitely say a draw is a good result. But still questions about why we performed like we did in the first half, why that keeps happening. What is the cause of it? Is Frank setting him out like that? Or is it and are the players just kind of going at it in the second half to try and get back in the game? Or is that Frank changing a few things at half time to get us back in the game? It's hard to say really what the truth is. Interesting to hear from him. But yeah, look, good point. But what in terms of the point in general, is it the worst result? This is the worst result before the game? Or you just take the point?
I think we just take the point because it is very early. And I think the point, we do need that point to be 9 points above West Ham, even though it's so sad to even have to say that, to be honest. But at least Man City get 1 point, I guess, closer. It's the worst result, but then is it the best result at the same time? It's quite hard to really decide.
It's the first time Man City have failed to win a game when 2-0 up at half-time since April 2018, when they lost to Man United in that game that nearly decided the title.
Mentality.
Tottenham Hotspur.
So what would you do with Frank if you were the board right now?
Look, I would start looking for alternatives. If there's an alternative, you change it, in my opinion.
What, right now?
Right now. If there is an alternative, you change it. It's on them to find that alternative. I would 100% change it. I think I know maybe you could argue signs of improvement, but for me it's not enough. I think a good result against a decent City team today, but for me I would still change it. I think I would much prefer a manager who wants us to be the protagonist from the first minute and not keep playing like we are in the first halves or whatever. I don't know if that's his plan, but it seems that way. That keeps happening. That the manager has to take the blame. I don't know who that alternative is, though. That's the problem. And if there is no alternative, I guess you just keep him for now. But I think come the summer, you make the change for sure.
Yeah.
But I think right now, if there is a viable alternative that you believe could do the job better than Frank, you make the change. I would make the change now, if we can.
Yeah, I think that's fair.
What about you?
Yeah, I think I'm with the same boat as you, because originally I just wanted gone as soon as possible, but we've gone 6 months with the players being accustomed to this manager. Sacking him now to just keep the interim, I just feel like that won't. I understand why the club is in such a difficult position, even though it is a mess in terms of ball level right now. I understand why the decision, they don't really know what to do. So I think it probably is safe to it's definitely assess options right now. But I think the best thing to do is probably just keep it how it is until the end of the season and then just assess there what's the best thing to do. Because I don't think sacking him now is going to really change much. Unless you bring in, for example, like a Xabi Alonso, which there's no reason for him to want to come here. And I'm pretty sure he's already said no. there's not really much else.
Yeah, I agree. But look, credit to the team. Great performance.
I think it is a good point overall. It was a good point for us for what we needed.
It's something you probably would have taken before the game, wouldn't you? Regardless of context.
Yeah, of course.
You would have taken that result before the game. And
without context, you're happy with this result, I think, especially with the injuries, illnesses, and I think you just got to give it to the players and even Frank, and maybe in some cases.
But it is still now 2 wins in 15.
Yes, it's awful.
From that point of view,
we haven't won in 2 months in the Prem.
Then again, looking at Man City, 1 win in 6.
Yeah.
Wow.
But I think even Arsenal lost just now to United.
Yeah, true. All right, well, that is your instant match reaction. Let me know in the comment section below your thoughts on today's game. And big up to Costa, also known as Timothy, for joining me on the stream today.